Hello and welcome to Drive-In Double Feature. I'm Ryan.
I'm Nathan.
And we have a special guest with us again this week, who is...
William Doyle. It's definitely a different day, baby.
It's different day, different podcast, different movie. We're talking about 1954's Them, directed by Gordon Douglas. And I got to say, if you love giant bugs, we talked about our little giant bug movies before. We're talking about another one. And I graciously offered my pick this week to William because he's definitely wanted to see Them. William, why did you want to watch Them, please?
Dude, I don't know. It's got big ants.
Yeah, it does.
That's it.
Hey, well, what about
let me ask.
Well, yeah, there's a Fallout 3 mission where, like, it's just this movie. You go do, like, the third act of this movie where you go find an anthill and blow it up. And then that's how I found out about this movie, actually.
Yeah, that's how I was exposed to this movie as well. The name of that mission is Those, which I love. And yeah, I mean, it's a great little mission. I think I appreciate it a little more now.
And if you're wondering what this movie is about, it's giant ants attacking the United States. There's not really much else plot-wise to really say. I mean, it's just them trying to find the ants, and then there's an old scientist that's telling them about behavioral of ants. And
a lot of ant facts in this movie. Like, a lot of ant, like, just... Hey, I didn't know ants did that.
Yeah, I learned some good ant stuff. Yeah, you're right.
I didn't know a lot of the stuff about ants. I didn't know ants made this noise either.
The most annoying noise in the world.
Terrible.
Yeah. I think, William, you hate this noise. Right?
I hate this noise. I think because of this noise... which plays for most of the movie, like beginning to end, this noise is going, especially in the third act. It does not stop. It's the entirety of the end of the movie, and like it gets really annoying. And it's like, why are we here? Why are you doing this? It's terrible. It's awful.
So you're saying it hampered your enjoyment of this movie?
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Now, do you know what that sound is, though, like in actuality?
No, annoying. What, a siren?
No, it's actually a group of tree frogs.
Yeah.
So not even ants.
It's frogs, yeah.
Frogs, yeah.
Why did they pick frogs? Do you know?
I don't think ants really have a natural noise, and it would look pretty awkward if they were just coming on the screen. And I guess it just sounds menacing enough to where they were like, oh, well, this is the signal that ants are here. Or somebody was stupid and assumed that ants made noise. I don't know, but...
Well, whoever made this movie, they weren't stupid. They knew facts about ants.
Ants do make noise. We just don't have a microphone small enough yet to pick it up.
We haven't interviewed an ant yet.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I will say I don't think the noise hampered my enjoyment. I mean, it is an annoying noise. I'll give you that, but I don't think it like killed it for me necessarily.
So I mean, if you thought The Blob was kind of like a dry experience, this one's very dry.
Yeah, this is...
It straight up, but I mean, at the same time though, it reminds me of a lot of those old sci-fi movies, and it's not a poorly made one either. I mean, it's all competently made, I feel like. I mean, yeah, the sound does get annoying to me at times, but at the same time, you know, I'm just like, there's nothing terrible about it, but there's nothing really exciting. Well, I did like when the ants first appear on screen, because this movie has the same plot point as Godzilla. Oh, radioactive bombs turn these ants into giant monsters. So when the ant appears on screen, it looks so funny because I wasn't expecting it, and it's just like this big like
it's like fuzzy, right?
Yeah, and then just immediately like start shooting it, and then one guy pulls out a machine gun and machine guns the ant like right in the face. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, and it's like in the doctor or whatever is like, shoot the antennae like over and over again, and he's just like spraying bullets all over them.
Yeah.
No, I think this movie, I think it's fine. I think it's a fine movie. I think I appreciate it more than I like it. I appreciate what it's done, because this movie was a gamble when it came out in 1954. Studios were really iffy on giant sci-fi movies, to the fact that this movie was originally color and then they made it black and white and cut their budget.
Whoa.
But,
to save on money, right?
To save on money. But this movie was a huge hit and made headway for movies like what we talked about last Tuesday, The Blob, to exist. So I think that's really cool.
Now, let me ask you, did you like the special effects in this movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I like the special effects.
Well,
I did.
Hollywood did too, because this movie was nominated for an Oscar for Best Special Effects.
Our third Oscar nominated movie on the show.
I know.
Had any winners?
No. Well, yeah. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea won for
Best
special effects. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I really like when the big ants get lit on fire. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, when the guy has the flamethrower. Sure.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That felt like old school B-movie stuff, like just a flamethrower to a giant bug.
Giant ant. It's like they got one shot at it, right?
Yeah.
They got one take with that ant. How many ants could they have made?
3.
Maybe like 10.
They made 3 ants, right?
No, they made more than 3.
Did they? I thought is it only 3 that they could move?
Like
they burned 3 of them.
They showed like the 3 at the end of the movie they do corner like the baby queen ants, and it's just kind of funny because it's just like these little bait.
They mercilessly gunned them down.
I mean, yeah, but it was.
And they talk about Godzilla at the end of the movie.
They do kind of.
Yeah, they do hint at Godzilla. They're like, hey, if this happened here, what could be happening in Japan?
Which it does. Because this movie came out the same year as the original Japanese one. It hadn't been in America yet, but I guess they're like, who knows what's going on in the rest of the world? What could happen?
Yeah. So when they corner all the queens, remember they're like, earlier they're like, you can't nuke them because that's what started this whole mess. And Fallout, I definitely nuked them. So
yes, that is true.
There's that. Yeah.
But it was the end of the world then, so it's not that big of a deal.
Well, there was like radiation in the air in Fallout anyway, so
yeah, it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
They're used to it.
Did you guys expect it to have like this mystery angle where like the ants don't pop in about 30 minutes into the movie? It's kind of like, what's going on here? There's sugar cubes, you know.
It's not robbers because all the money's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they found one dead guy there, and it's like, every bone in his body is broken, but he had enough acid in his system to kill 20 men.
Yeah.
And then there's this little girl who's wandering the desert who is suffering severe PTSD
and
for seeing these ants.
Acid smelling salts.
Now let me ask you. So we've talked about giant ants, giant moths, and Rodan. There was giant praying mantis.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the scariest insect to you to see?
Probably the praying mantises are kind of scary. I'm not.
Is it just one of them, or is it like
you can pick any of them?
I mean like one singular insect, or like what would you'd find like?
What to you and to you guys? What would be the scariest giant insect to see? Period.
Probably like a wasp or something, right?
Only one, or like however many would be like in a group of them?
It would be a giant. Right? No, just one. Just one.
Spiders don't count, right? Because they're not insects.
No, those aren't insects. Yeah.
Okay. A big grasshopper, like a big because those guys outside my house. Mm-hmm. They're fucking big, dude. They're like they're like the size of my hand already. So like, dude, if one of those is like big, like scaled up the size of like them, that would be nuts. Mm-hmm. I'd be freaked out.
I was thinking like a giant stick bug, because if it fell on you, it'd be like if a tree fell on you.
Yeah, true.
I feel like a grasshopper would like definitely like eat you though.
Man. I'm not getting any love for grasshoppers.
Are there grasshopper heads out there? I'm sorry, grasshopper heads.
There definitely is. Anyway, going back to the movie, there's some stuff in there that I was not expecting, like little bits of comedy. Like there had like these little like comedic moments, which I thought was kind of funny, where like the one doctor, like he's trying to communicate through this like radio, like and they keep telling him you got to say over after every time you're done, so that they know you're done talking. And he kept saying, he's like, oh yeah, whatever, over, and then he would say something again, but he wouldn't say it. And he's like, no, you got to say over. He's like, I said it already.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a couple like breaks like that. I really like the scene in the mental institution where they talk to the guy from Texas. I actually thought that was a pretty funny scene. He would go on later to play Davy Crockett.
But yeah, that seems really funny. Or that trivia note, because they said that Walt Disney actually watched this movie, and he watched it for the protagonist of this movie, James Whitmore. He watched thinking that, hell, maybe I need somebody for my Davy Crockett. But then this one guy who's like this crazy Texan in a mental institution, dude, that's the only scene he's in this movie. And they're like, he even said that's my Davy Crockett.
Nice.
And I mean, he's got a really cool personality. I think what makes that scene funny to me, though, is that they're like, hey, we believe you. And then they leave and they're like, keep him in there. Protect the government. I like that. I thought that was just really funny.
They promised they were going to get this. Yeah, they promised this guy to let him out. And they're just like, don't let him out. Don't let anyone see him. Don't give him anything.
And after he's all done, kill him. they said shoot him in the back of the throat.
Well, there's no, they never go back because they tell everybody at some point, it's like, hey, LA, you need to go into hiding. There's ants here. Little do we know, Davy Crockett's wailing away in a mental institution.
Well, yeah, they even said because they even said when they made the announcement to the United States, they said, months ago, this happened out in Arizona or whatever. And they're like, wait, months ago? So these ants have just been roaming the United States for months?
Yeah.
Big area. Big ants can fly big distances. So,
And only the homeless have seen them, I guess.
Yeah.
And, that was the thing. Like giant flying saucers that look like ants. I'm like, well, then it wouldn't be a flying saucer.
Yeah.
No. That the other things that you said, they use the flamethrower. They also use a rocket launcher in this movie too.
Yes.
You know what's wild? Ants, right?
Yeah,
they can link together and form like airtight bonds with each other, or not airtight, watertight. So they can form like spheres submerged in water together, and they fucking swap out and take turns like breathing inside the sphere they made. They can survive underwater. It's
wild.
Nuts.
Oh wow,
so that's wild. Ants.
Wow, they're like Avatar the waterbender.
So that was just an ant fact that I knew.
I mean, that is a cool
add on to the movie. What are some cool fun ant facts you guys know?
My ant fact is that my aunt served in the military.
Nice. I love that. Love that. Got any cool ant facts?
Woody Allen played an ant once.
Aunt. Nice. Yeah, I love it. Love to hear it.
Yeah.
That was my segment for the show.
Other funny stuff was they said nothing was taken except for massive theft, or they said be on the lookout for massive thefts of syrup.
Ooh, syrup thieves.
They also said
wait, wouldn't they also destroy the whole building and shit to get the syrup?
To get to it, because they destroy the trailers in the desert to get sugar cubes.
But don't you know? I mean, in your house, ants can get in no matter what. I don't leave the door open. I don't leave the door open. Ants still come in my house.
So something that's I haven't really pieced together.
I think a giant ant can sneak in your house.
You know how the first trailer was he's like, this is blown out from the inside, right? Something came out of here, not something into there. How the fuck did they get in? How'd the ants get in
from under
to get out?
Right? Maybe they through the floorboard?
Or they just straight up bash into it, and as they were pulling out, it pulled it out. But why would they enter and exit the same? I don't know.
Maybe there was so much radiation emanated right there on that trailer, so that one little ant just grew big right there.
Yeah.
I think so. We also get a sighting of the Wilhelm Scream. They use that a lot in this movie.
A lot.
Yep.
And when they use like both the really annoying sound and the Wilhelm Scream together at the same time, it really was wow, what a stellar masterpiece.
At least the Wilhelm Scream at the time wasn't the meme that it is now. It's not. Even though it is a little sad that they just used it over and over again. They couldn't just. They had a little bit of money.
George Lucas thought the Scream came from this movie when he used it in Star Wars.
For real?
Is that a real fact? Oh, okay. I was like, oh, wow, that's kind of wild. It seems like a movie he would like.
When I was watching it, I was listening to it. I was like, they used it 3 times or so in this movie.
4.
And I was like, 4. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna look it up, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody told me it's from this. I don't know what it's from.
It's actually from 1951, I believe.
Oh, so like it was new. It was the new thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just a canned sound effect that people can use. Like, oh, here, you want to hear somebody scream? Use a scream.
Yeah.
It's such a shitty scream.
Whatever the 50s version of like a sound pack was, right?
If you want to hear it, it's going to sound like this.
There you go. If you've never heard the Wilhelm Scream before, that's for you.
It's taking me back. So in terms of recommendations, I don't know if I would... It's not a strong recommendation. Like I said, it is pretty dry. I mean, if you want to see like the ant scenes, it is kind of fun to watch them destroy and kill all these ants.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those scenes are very few and far between. And
they're really actually just jam-packed into the end there, huh?
Yeah.
At the end, it's great. I mean, like that last like 15, 20 minutes, it's all ant action.
Yeah,
and,
it's got really good shots of the kids like scared in the sewer behind stuff. It's like the ants are destroying the walls in front of them. It's pretty cool stuff actually. In the end.
So that's how they got through to the trailer. It snuck in through the toilet because they were in the sewers.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All checks out. No questions. No more questions.
Always check for ants before you sit on the toilet.
I was gonna ask if anyone's scared of snakes. A snake ever coming up while you're on the toilet?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You ever thought about that?
No. When I was a kid, I watched like a documentary on like snakes and gators coming up through the toilet. And some scary shit. I still think about it to this day.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there,
Sometimes
I might get my ass bit this time.
Yeah. I work at a lot of like I guess like newly built homes, like fresh built. And I was like, snake's gonna come up, but it'll probably come up here, right?
Yeah.
Would it come up in a newer one?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe they built the pipes like fitted the pipes around a snake just. For fun. I don't know.
They saw a snake and they just.
I know there's no snakes in my toilet. I don't know about like other people's toilets.
Well, how deep?
There could be a snake anywhere. Huh?
How deep have you dug in your toilet?
I've
searching
done
for
0.
snakes. You do a dig check, right? Before.
Yeah, every time.
Stick my arm up to the elbow. Just
I actually I flush it once and then bang the side to just scare any snakes just in case they're in there. Every time.
He's got like the little metal can full of beans.
Yeah, they be into the little vestibule part of the toilet, little air socket.
Fantastic.
Yeah, if ants come up through the toilet, I think I'll be okay. I might get a little nip on the booty, but I'll be fine.
But would you recommend this movie, William, since you asked for it?
I'd recommend the last 20 minutes or so.
It's
not worth the noise.
It wasn't worth all these years of Fallout 3 hype.
No, it was not. I don't think it was. I've seen it before. This is my second time watching it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But I'd agree. It's not a really recommend. Only if you're like really, really interested. But I mean, there's better monster movies from the era to watch, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
And there's better monster movies later, not in that era, to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know. Name one. Pan's Labyrinth.
Better monster movies other
well, Frankenstein.
All right, yeah, he got one.
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie Monsters that came out last decade?
Abbott and Costello Meet the Wolfman. Go watch that.
Yeah.
Can we watch? Hey, when you do that, can I be on?
No.
Oh, no.
You get no time with Abbott and Costello. That's just me and Ryan, okay?
Yeah.
Is that like the first horror comedy?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't want to. Who knows? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You're right, it is.
No, that was Shaun of the Dead. What are you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, never heard of it. Anyway. Well, we've had fun, but we're going to say goodbye to them, and we're going to see what's coming up next time, Nathan.
Well, next
Abbott and Costello Meet the Wolfman.
Close. You're really close on this one. It's going to be right after the 4th of July. So that Tuesday, I wanted to pick a American horror movie, and that's Uncle Sam, I Want You Dead. So that's streaming over. That's streaming over on Tubi.
Phenomenal. Cannot wait. We want you to join our Patreon.
Woo!
And give us some support. It's over at patreon.com/driveindoublefeaturpodcast. We got some exclusive content up there so you can check out. Please give us your support. If not, we're going to be here still giving you quality content. Regular episodes are not a part of Patreon exclusive content, but also follow us on Twitter at DIDFpod, where you can get updates on episodes. Email us at driveindoublefeaturepodcast@gmail.com. William, we want to thank you again for joining us this week. We really appreciate it.
Yay. This was fun.
Yes. We had a great time. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
If you say, hey, that William and Nathan have some great chemistry. If only that guy Ryan wasn't there. Well, don't worry. They have their own podcast called Last Week on Game Pass and BGM Podcast. And also...
Meaty Boys Podcast.
The biggest one. The main event.
MeatyBoysPodcast.com.
Yeah. Please go over to MeatyBoys.com where you can see all of the podcasts that are under the
You guys
umbrella.
are on there.
Yeah, you can even see our podcast on there.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
I made you guys your whole own page.
And we appreciate it every day.
Yes.
Again, thank you, William. Appreciate it.
Well,
hey, catch you next time. Baby.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Until next time.